remember me and you had a conversation delving deep into that image about the black fathers not being there and how it seemed as though it was almost like a status quo, or I wouldn't even say so much of a status quo, but a damn near an incentive, if you want to say it that way, where the father had to not be present in order to get these extra help from the government, getting housing and getting food stamps. You know, driving most of these mothers to either push the father out of the household or, you know, hide the father, you know, sometimes. But
yeah, because you could lose your housing, you could lose your food stamps if they found out you had a man living there.
Yeah, and I think that it's funny because it was like, why wasn't it promoted the other way around? Like, why wasn't it promoted to where, why don't they just give job programs to these fathers? You know, yeah, we'll let you be on welfare for a couple of years. But in the meantime, the father at home can go to school and he can learn a skill or do whatever way he can take care of his family and pull off welfare. See, people don't think in this way.
You know why. You know why. You know why it wasn't done that way.
Right. You know, they don't know how to improve it. You know, there's ways of improving things, too, instead of just complaining. But that's just me, you know.
They weren't trying to improve it. That's the problem. They weren't trying to improve it.
Again, it just goes along with tarnishing the image. I mean, I know me and you had a conversation about a conversation that I had on a social media platform with a young lady about, you know, talking about Dwayne Wade's son and how she really just went from 0 to 100. Because basically my whole overall point was I just don't believe in celebrities, you know, exploiting their children and selling out, you know, for $1, you know, because the media is telling you to do, hey, this would be good publicity, it'll get you plenty of paychecks, you know, and you exploit your son in that manner. And I didn't believe in that. And it just went from that to me being a homophobe and hating gay people. And by the way, if you are a homosexual, whatever, I don't, to be honest. If you really want my honest opinion, I honestly don't care what you do. I don't have to be in your bedroom, and I don't judge anybody for what walk of life they choose. I think that that's your individual freedom of who you want to be. So I don't. But I also don't believe in exploiting something for a different purpose or an agenda. You know, I was basically pointing out the fact that I felt like that it was more so, you know, kind of more pedophile-ish, in my opinion. You know, it kind of opens that door. You know, some of the language used is some of the language that a pedophile would use to a child. Well, you're ready. You know, you should know what you want by this time. And this is some of the same language they were using to excuse, you know, what was going on with Dwayne Wade. And I was just given a fair warning, but, you know, I was told I was a homophobe, and I had to defend myself. But, again, I got to ask this question, ending it on this, you know, for any black women who, you know, because I'm just going to put that much out there. Yes, this was a black woman who I was talking with about this. But for any black woman out there, I just got to ask this question. As much as I hear about black women who complain about there's not enough men, there's no good men, you know, we can't find them, you know, they're either locked up or whatever, you know, you constantly hearing the complaints about black men and there not being enough in the community and they're not being able to settle down. I got to ask this question. Why do y'all work or push so hard to effeminize them, you know, or be so upset when a man speaks his mind about, you know, the effeminization that goes on in the media? You know, we can't sit here and talk about there's less of this, but then attribute to what it's less of. You know, it sounds crazy, and it's an oxymoron to me. And again, I'm not speaking
why
against them.
Why are we caping for men we could never have? Is that what you're saying?
Right. Right. I mean, it just never made sense to me. You know, I've always wanted to know. And I'm not saying, you know, again, it's not judging anybody. If that's the way you really feel, that's the way you really feel. I just don't believe in pushing for, you know, more of it, and at the same time complaining about, where I can't find anybody. You know what I mean? It just sounds sounds crazy to me. You got to kind of put yourself in that, and ask yourself a question. Like, you got to put yourself in the mirror with that question. Like, yo, what am I doing here? That would be like black men saying, we can't find we tired of these angry black women, and steady more pushing for more, masculinity in the feminine world. Like, this is crazy.